Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. This is a very short video about some incredibly bad science from NASA. Their global climate change website says, coral reefs are disappearing worldwide. We know this through extensive surveys conducted every decade. Since 2009, the United Nations has reported that 14% of the corals on Earth have disappeared, and things are speeding up. There is some truth to this claim. I've seen the devastated coral reefs at Acamal, Mexico. The people who live there blame it on pollution and sunblock oil coming off of tourists swimming in the reefs. But NASA goes on to blame it on the burning of fossil fuels. A special report in 2018 from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change projected that coral reefs would decline by 70 to 90% if average global air temperatures warmed by 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial values. That number jumps to a 99% decline at 2 degrees Celsius of warming, with the planet already warming 1.1 degrees Celsius due to human activity since the end of the 19th century. These declines in corals could be reached by 2050 or sooner. So NASA is saying that 99% of the world's coral reefs could disappear in the next 25 years. This sort of article makes it clear that neither NASA nor the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change understand much about science. Corals and shellfish appeared in the ocean 540 million years ago during the greatest expansion of life on Earth. Carbon dioxide levels were 15 times higher than now, and temperatures were 10 to 15 degrees Celsius warmer than at present. Corals have thrived through huge swings in temperature, huge swings in sea level, and huge changes in the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. NASA has chosen to rely on academic models and ignore 540 million years of Earth's history. Richard Feynman said, "It doesn't matter how beautiful your theory is, if it doesn't agree with experiment, it's wrong." According to the Australian government, the coral cover in the Great Barrier Reef, which is the largest on Earth, is at a record high since records began 36 years ago. But NASA says the corals could be gone by 2050 or sooner. 70 years ago, the United States blew up a huge hydrogen bomb at the Bikini Atoll. This raised the water temperatures to around 100,000 degrees Fahrenheit. And now the corals are thriving there, growing as much as 8 meters high. If coral reefs can survive nuclear bombs, they can probably also survive cows burping. The people who went to the moon and made NASA great are very embarrassed about NASA's ridiculous climate propaganda. While Barack Obama was president, 49 former NASA scientists and astronauts wrote a letter to the NASA administrator asking him to stop embarrassing the agency with climate propaganda. The group of signatories included Michael Collins, Walter Cunningham, and Harrison Schmitt, who is the only scientist to have walked on the moon. But NASA administrators aren't listening, and their propaganda gets worse and worse with each passing year. Richard Feynman said, "I think we live in an unscientific age in which almost all the buffeting of communications and television, words, books, and so on are unscientific. As a result, there is a considerable amount of intellectual tyranny in the name of science." And it's gotten much worse since Feynman said that. In Canada, the NDP party wants to jail people for speaking well of fossil fuels. NASA climate propaganda is dangerous because it affects public perceptions and public policy. Toto's been pulling back the curtain on NASA junk science for almost 16 years. You can visit him and his family on the web at realclimatescience.com.